Welcome to the Echo Sportscast number 21.
I'm Paul McLean.
And I'm Dave Dale. Buckle up. We have another great lineup of high school sports, varsity, club, and post-secondary varsity updates. Please like and share. That's your warning.
First up, we have the latest standings for high school girls volleyball, boys basketball, and hockey as we head into the playoffs.
Our action video evidence of the competition includes a decisive 20-point comeback basketball matchup on Tuesday night between West Ferris and the Ravens, the senior guys. And we also have followed up with the junior match. Trojans went undefeated on the season.
We also have video of a big hockey tilt at West Ferris Arena that saw the Ravens light up the Barons. And our spotlight interview features George Ringler discussing 5 generations of North Bay hockey, Gordie Howe, and a very important conversation about the passing of his son and the amazing charity Chat for Chad that came of it.
In post-secondary action, we have a bit of video from the Nipissing Lakers men's team as they put a 5-game losing skid on ice with a win over the Waterloo Warriors on Saturday.
Unfortunately, the women's team didn't fare so well on the road, but it's a new weekend of action, so we'll put a positive spin on our report by pumping up the men's military appreciation night at the Bort Longyear Memorial Gardens tonight, 7 p.m., with the Lakers hosting Windsor. And they also play on Saturday at 4 p.m. if you can make it.
As for the Heritage Moment, I'd like to share a little bit about the Nipissing Warriors legacy and the Nipissing First Nation. It's got a little bit of a cool story there. And it continues to be an important part of the community as every March the Warriors head to a major tournament in Ontario. We have all that and more, but first a word from our title sponsor, North Bay Toyota.
It's time to Toyota at North Bay Toyota. Attention truck lovers, have you been Tundra struck? The powerful and dependable Toyota Tundra is the new definition of grit. Ask us about amazing lease deals on a 2025 Tundra Double Cap SR 4-wheel drive and experience ingenious levels of capability, technology, and refinement. Or maybe you're an SUV lover? Take advantage of a limited shipment of 2025 RAV4s and discover the perfect blend of style, comfort, and efficiency in a compact SUV that ignites your desire to explore. Right now, get excellent lease deals on the Toyota RAV4 LE all-wheel drive and more. It's time to Toyota at North Bay Toyota, 640 McEwen, or online at northbaytoyota.com for details.
First up was the really excellent senior boys basketball game between West Ferris and the Chippewa Ravens on Tuesday evening. It was going to decide who gets second place. And it was a great game. West Ferris was down 10 and into the last quarter. And they came back and won by 10.
That's a really big swing in one
huge.
Quarter of high school basketball. So.
That's huge. It was back and forth. Chippewa, which usually is money in the fourth.
Yeah.
They just weren't getting the bounces. And even at the free throw line, usually they're money, right? They're top guys. It wasn't happening.
Well, that'll come, I've watched enough of it this year when you cannot sink those free throws that's the charity line. Those are the points you got to get, and they come back to haunt.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a couple of players that really stood out. We have a pretty good interview with Wes Buell. Number 3 with the Trojans. He scored 21 points, including 3 threes.
Wow.
And he was money at the free throw line, went 4 for 4. So we have a pretty good interview with him. Big comeback win against Chippewa. That was you're down 10 and then you beat them by 10. Have you done that before this season?
Not this season, but our team, we've been together for a while, so we've had some nice wins, but this was probably their biggest comeback so far. Actually, no, that's not true. Last time we played Chippewa, we were down 20, and then we came back. So it's just something about playing Chippewa, I guess.
Well, they come out strong. They got a lot of talented players. They're well structured, so they can take control of a game. So it takes a while to match up, I imagine, and to get into that rhythm. What was key for you, do you think, as far as being able to hit those clutch shots in the fourth?
Today was just a team win. We've been struggling the last 2 weeks since Christmas break on our offense has been one-dimensional, but today we moved the ball. We practiced really hard yesterday, and then we moved the ball. Everybody hit clutch shots. Our bench gave us tons of great minutes, and then we were just dogs on defense. we were just dogs, and we came back.
Tell me about some of the players that are making a difference this year, the veterans.
Okay, so I got Nick Corbeil. Nick's he does a lot of stuff for us. He's a great playmaker. Great job getting to the basket, and then he really sets up our offense. Austin Rapatoni, he's a fifth-year guy. He gave us huge minutes tonight. Great defense. He creates shots and gets a lot of boards. Jesse Danu, number 2. He's big 3-and-D guy, really an energy guy for us. Lyndon Russell, he's a first-year guy. Lyndon, he's been great for us so far. Just does everything down low. Same with Nick Gilchrist, another center. Owen Lacroix, he was actually injured tonight, but huge energy guy as well. Great on defense, great offensive player. So we were sad to miss him, but he should be back soon.
So one more shout out, Wes, another player that you forgot?
Yeah, I have one more shout out for Carter Raymond, and he's the best teammate anybody could have. He calls himself the MVC, most valuable clapper, and he lives up to it. He cheers us on in practice every day, and he's just the greatest teammate we could have.
What's this year mean to you as far as the basketball and the high school?
Well, if we win this year, this will be 3 in a row for a lot of us. So it's a big year. It's my grade 12 year, so it's we have to win. It's just there might not be another year. So,
what are your academic plans after high school?
So depending on if I go into if I stay another year, I want to go into health sciences. I think I want to become a doctor someday. So yeah.
So another brainiac, eh? Right on.
Yeah.
What makes you want to be in health sciences?
I love being around people, and I love science too. I like biology, chemistry. I've done every science class there is, and I just love being around people. I love helping people, so I think it's just a good job, and I get to work good hours. So.
How about a shout out to one of your STEM teachers that makes a difference for you?
Oh, there's a lot of STEM teachers that make a difference. I'll shout out all my science teachers this year. I have Miss Barber. She teaches me chemistry. Miss Schulman teaches me physics, and then Mr. Browse is my bio teacher.
Well, excellent. And
Mr. Culhane, he was my computer science teacher, and he films all our games, so he's pretty big for us.
Yeah, I saw him up there. He's pretty cool. Very good. A big supporter of athletics as well. So, excellent. Good luck to you, and hope you have a good playoff.
Thank you very much.
So yeah, Wes, another goon, just going to school for no good reason. No, just kidding. He's going to be a doctor.
It's fantastic. What these kids go through to balance, having a social life, but paying attention to school and doing the extracurriculars. So it's great. This is why we want to promote that and show these kids, because I think they're just special and people need to see and know more about it.
He gave a little shout out to players. I asked him to talk about some of the players, and he caught me in the hallway after, and he said, "I got one more," right? And
yeah.
And now I'm still not sure whether he's having fun with the guy, but he was saying that he was like you heard, he was number one clapper on the bench.
Okay.
Right?
Well, hey, but I think it's great
joke,
too
sure.
when they start to be able to have that. It's nerve-wracking being in front of a camera or having a microphone stuck in front of you. So the ones that are able to kind of play with it and have some fun, it's great. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, let's see how Dan does in this one. He said it was his first interview ever. So you just had a 10-point comeback in the fourth quarter against Chippewa, and you beat them by 10. That's an excellent result.
It's a great result, especially lately. We've had a few little struggles, and it was really great to be able to play like we did and kind of come back. Our guys are very resilient, and they showed it today for sure.
So I was told that this clinches second place for you right before playoffs?
It does, yeah. We knew coming in here that we needed to we needed to win the game. The last game against Chippewa, we only beat them by 2, so we definitely needed to come in here and come away with a victory to solidify home court for the semis. Well, providing that we get to the semis.
Well, what is the structure for the quarterfinals?
So my understanding is it'll be first place gets a bye, and then two will play 7, and so on and so forth. 2, 7, 3, 6, and 4, 5.
What was the key to coming back with the 10-point deficit in the fourth?
I think the key is just kind of staying together, just kind of trusting each other. I think at the end of the day, that is the key for us. We never really quit, and that's the way that our guys are capable of playing. And we showed it today. Just they hit us, and we just didn't fall at the end of the day.
A couple of players that made it possible. Number 3 was Money for shooting, and that was a big effect there.
Wes always does a great job for us. He's one of our key players. There's no question about it. But honestly, it really was a team game today. Jesse hit some key shots. We were getting to the basket fairly well. We were managing to get to the paint. Our defense is really what did it for us, to be honest with you. We communicated well. We did a really good job that way, and that was the key to our success, quite honestly.
First time I saw Chippewa with under that kind of defensive pressure not make the baskets in the end of the game.
Well, I don't know what to say. I mean, pressure is a funny thing, right? Either you make them under pressure or you don't, right? So we were lucky enough to be able to come away with towards the end of the game, the pressure helped us, and we're fortunate to be able to come away.
Going to the tournament this weekend?
Yes, we are. We're heading up to Timmins. I don't even want to try to attempt to say what it is, but it's O'Gorman High School are the ones that are hosting it, and we're hoping to get tuned up for play.
Well, that was an important game for West Ferris to consolidate second place. They finished, it looks like a 9-3, and Chippewa ended up 8-4. But that's what made that game against Schollard and Northern so important, because I think they could catch and vault over Chippewa based on the formula.
Okay.
Right? So it's a mystery. We'll find out.
We'll have to find out who won.
And that'll set up the semifinals. And I think it just decides who's at home, right?
Yeah.
Because or actually it decides who has to play West Ferris. So I guess that is more important. Yeah, should be interesting. So we're going to update the semifinal setup for Tuesday night. Should be it's great basketball. Anyways, every one of those teams can beat each other on any given night. Algonquin's at the top of the pile, but not by that much.
So I think the bottom line here is that it's highly entertaining basketball, and you should go check it out, even if it's worth the effort to try to find out when they play or who wins.
It's worthwhile to check out because it's brought Larry Tugas back out of the shadows, and he was there the other night.
Okay,
checking it out. Yeah, all the coaches were there. They're all alumni guys.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Well, I mean, there's a lot of pride in that gym and a lot of good basketball.
I should have a mic set up to listen to record them talking about how they would coach the particular team in front of them.
There would be a very extended coffee club version of discussing strategy and stuff. And I think
that would sell. That would sell.
Yeah. There's a lot of collective wisdom there. There's a lot people could learn. So that's great.
And that game was followed by the junior Trojans wanting to finish the season undefeated, and they did. It was a little closer than I think they would have wanted. I think the final score was 52-49.
Okay.
Chippewa juniors wanted to rain on their parade.
Yeah.
And they were given a good go. And I think just from the first half that I saw, the West Ferris Trojans weren't showing their best structured basketball.
Maybe looking a little past the opponent to the next game or not. So
hopefully that doesn't carry on, because we know what happened to their junior football team this year, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's a lesson. A lot of the same boys are playing.
Well, and I think that would add maybe to the strength. They don't have the hockey team to play on at Ferris, so you're going to see a little bit more shift to that in football. So strong team and real focus on basketball right now.
I think both teams are heading to there's a Timmins tournament this weekend.
Oh, okay. The big
at Gorman, I think. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, so I think a good thing that they got a bye because they're heading up to Timmins this weekend.
Well, it's a snowy one. I know some people that are going up today, and the roads aren't very good. So hopefully things are good by the time they're on their way.
What I have here for the junior standings is looks like the Bears were in second place, Chippewa third, the Franco fourth, and Northern fifth for the juniors. Algonquin juniors at the bottom, second last, and then Mattawa. So not as much parity in the middle a little bit, but it looks like West Ferris is the team to beat in the junior basketball. NDA hockey is heating up, and I caught the game at West Ferris on Wednesday night, and the Chippewa Ravens rolled over Algonquin Barons 6-2. They had their backup goalie in, and they were hot. They wanted to fill that net.
Yeah. I saw the boys coming in. My daughter's team was coming out from their 1-1 tie with Sudbury in their first play-down game. It was really exciting hockey. But yeah, it was good to see. I saw some of the staff from the store on both teams coming in, so I had a little chat with them. And yeah, everybody was getting excited, getting close to the end of the season, playoffs, final standings. So yeah.
It was rocking and rolling. We actually have video this time of how it really is. Last time we mentioned that it was a rough game, but I didn't have any video to back it up. Well, I got some. They were checking each other right in front of me, so it kind of shows how, not dirty stuff, but hard hockey.
Yeah, no, and we've talked about it. Like, it is played. You watch it from the lobby too, and almost like a fishbowl. It's just so tight, and everybody's on top of each other, and the speed really shows with how aggressive they can be. Even my daughter's U13, like, they look like a different team playing on that rink, and that's the first time I've seen it. It really comes home on that size, and you don't have a lot of time.
And Algonquin was missing the young lad that was still concussed. He's I was talking to his dad, and he said he has one more checkup. He has to be headache free for 2 weeks.
Yep.
Right, and that'll be Friday. So he may be ready for the game on Saturday.
Yeah.
Where they play the Bears, and if the Bears get 1 point out of that game, they clinch first place. So Saturday night at 8:30 at Memorial Gardens, a big game between the Bears and Algonquin that has some implications.
Well, hopefully he's back and ready for that game. We don't want anybody to miss any more time than they have to, but it's going to be great hockey to get a hold of and get ready to see what happens with the playoffs as they go on that final stretch. Algonquin
was also missing Big McGill there that was suspended for the fight, and I'm not sure when he comes back, but if he comes back, Algonquin will have a fuller roster eventually for when they do have their semifinals. And I think this weekend some of the hockey teams are heading to the Burlington tournament.
Okay.
Burr something or other. Dylan went to it when he was in high school. It's a good tournament down south, Brampton and Burlington or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. I still remember a story that I thought was funny where two North Bay teams were going down together. You could maybe have almost shared a bus to cut down on costs, and it was like, yeah, no, we're not riding with that other school. So those rivalries exist, and it's good. Like, it's great for them to get see other teams, especially in a 3-team league. It's nice.
Do you know the cost for playing on a high school hockey team?
I don't know this year.
Okay, I heard it was like $3,000.
Okay, yeah,
which is less than playing on rep.
Yes,
half. At least, right?
I would say you're pretty close. Yeah, for sure. If you were like, whether you're playing on the AAA, a Trappers team at either the U18s or the U16s, you're going to be paying significantly more than that.
I'm not sure how much of that includes school fundraising, but $1,500 was the price when Dylan was back there and playing.
Yeah,
2014 or so, 2015.
I mean, if you're playing junior hockey right now, around the NOJHL, you're probably looking to pay about $7,000 to $8,000 in team fees to be on the team and do that. You can go find some stuff to offset it with sponsorship, and then if you're billeting as well, there's going to be an added cost for the billet. But yeah, it's
and then put hotels if you want to go watch them play out of town.
Well, that doesn't include it. And obviously, I still can really remember when, this is pay to play hockey and you're not going to do that. But if you just look at like the geography of the NOJHL, or if you're trying to play U18, like the travel that they're absorbing, like as a parent, every weekend you go away now is
team meals at the restaurant aren't covered either, right?
Yeah, no, it's a lot. It's there's a lot that goes into it, and it's a really big commitment. And you just, I guess, at the end, as a parent too, hope that your kids can understand what went into it and maybe why you did it.
I don't think they really can understand it until it's coming out of their wallets. But
absolutely, like it's certainly not going to happen.
I remember going to tournaments with Dill, and I'd be bunking up with another guy that was divorced.
Yeah,
and we're boiling wieners in the coffee maker.
Yep.
We're bringing stews that we have in the crock pots.
Yep.
We were trying to cut costs every step of the way. We're driving together with two big boys, my little Kia, and we're full hockey gear, tying it to the top.
Oh no, and it is, and it's like, I mean, a massive pet peeve I have. We were in a tournament in Barrie last week, and we had a 10 o'clock game. So kids want to be at the rink for 8:45, 9 o'clock. So it's starting to push it, especially if there's any weather. So yeah. Most of the parents were down in the hotel on a Thursday night. Then you're staying for Friday. We were eliminated on Saturday afternoon, so stuck around, had some dinner, but it was only Barrie, drove back home so we could stay, but couldn't cancel the hotel. Like it's one thing to spend 1 or 2 nights in a hotel for hockey, but when you have to add that third, it just gets crazy. And yeah, you do need to find any way you can save it, and meals in the room or.
I was talking to a parent, their child had a tournament in Sudbury.
Yeah.
And if you're going to a tournament in Sudbury, that they have the schedule set up so you are trapped there.
Yes.
You have like early mornings, late nights, and you're driving from a hotel on the far side of Sudbury to Cape Royal.
Yeah, that is really, like, Sudbury's just like on that weird borderline where it could, I mean, you can be to Sudbury in an hour and a half if you're playing in Coniston, or if you're playing out in Chelmsford or something like that, it's 2 hours to get through.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's driving from one side of Sudbury to the other to get to a rink's nuts.
But the review of the Cape Royal rink, because that's what I grew up in, basically, they loved it. It's a great rink. It's actually got a canteen that's running. You can get your skates sharpened.
I know rare things these days to see in arenas, but the ones that do it right, and even the rinks we were in Barrie last weekend saw some really beautiful facilities, and they've got kind of a community program to help staff their canteens, and it's a work program for adults with special needs. So
Perfect.
It's a great tie into it, and it's all for a good reason, and that's kind of some of the creative thinking that you want to see.
That's a great idea, because they closed down the home style restaurant, the former D'Alandrio place.
Yeah, just down the street from Pelangio.
Yeah.
So.
Because they're looking for, because they were running that, and it was doing well.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate, but my question was going to be: is Source for Sports going to have something in the new arena at Omichel?
So we are. It's early. Like, nothing's come out from the city about
they'll put out a
doing
tender,
that.
probably.
Yeah. So we're very interested. I've talked. I'd like to try to find a way to work with somebody. I think the days of having like a pro shop in a rink and a concession, it's getting kind of hard
to do both,
especially with only two.
Yeah.
So staff-wise, and then the volume's not really there. I mean, I don't want to get like, you've got minimum wage considerations, which is going to add to the cost, the hours that you want to work it. It's not a typical 9 to 5, because no one's really in the rink from 9 to 5. So it's a lot of evenings and weekends. So for people that see it on paper, it seems appealing, but once you try to get into it,
logistics are tough.
Yeah. And I mean, you could, people are like, oh, I could make so much money doing it. Like, well, you could buy yourself a job, but that's what you've done. You've trapped yourself. And it's not to say that it couldn't work, but things like, we walk into the rink and we like to buy our coffee outside, and so that we go. We do that because there's no coffee in the rink to buy, but what happens when there is a shop there and now you're not supporting them and you're bringing that in, and there's a lot that goes to it. So I'd love to see kind of a hybrid model. So I'd love to talk to Twigs. I know Megan and I have had a conversation.
Okay.
And I think, you know, if you drop things like the deep fryer idea of having we love French fries at the rink, but a deep fryer is a giant health and safety concern and is going to affect your insurance, is going to lead to workplace issues. So let's just drop that. It's not really a healthy food in lots of places to find fries. But if we could have some healthy prepared food and, you know, have a skate sharpener, the portable ones are really easy. We could set those up, you know, tape and laces and those little last minute things. I think that's the model. But the idea of us having a big shop and trying to bring all of our gear there, no, I don't want to fight a war on two fronts. Like, we've got a store, come visit the store, and we'll have some stuff there for that last minute stuff that you forgot. And hopefully that model works out.
Well, people are talking about what you're going to do, so that's interesting.
Yeah, so that's the plan. If anybody's worried, like, we definitely want to work with that. Also looked into a company, Howie's Hockey, has a vending machine. And and so they were making vending machines.
Is that for skate sharpening?
Those old school monsters, they still exist somewhere, but everyone's afraid, and they've evolved 10 times over. Like, the automated ones are much better. And now we've got lots of families that have them, and it's great. You can take it on the road with you. And it just makes life easy. You sharpen skates in the hotel, and you're not trying to find somewhere to go when you're out of town.
So what vending machine are you talking about?
So a vending machine that was like fit properly to put tape and laces and, you know, neck guard and, you know, skate guards, some little stuff like that. So it was a standard, you know, push the button
girl
machine.
jock, boy jock.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So have all of that stuff, especially for some of the smaller rinks too. It's just a great way to have it. So it's new, so the tenders and stuff that need to go out to have it aren't really set up. So we're going to take another run at it next year and see if we could get some of those in some of our local rinks.
Oh, cool. Right on.
No.
Well, that was actually our hockey.
Yeah, that was...
I'll actually say who scored.
Yeah.
Hold on a sec. Back at the hockey game and roll the highlight reels. No, I missed the first 4 goals anyway. So, and then I was right. I got some good video of right in behind the net. So the goalie for the Barons, you could see what he has to deal with.
Yeah.
With Chippewa coming across the blue line.
And back to being in a small rink, it is an onslaught as a goalie. Like, you are under siege, and as soon as they cross over that blue line, they're right on top of you. So.
And there was one lad that was checked into the boards and another shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah. It's those are rock hard. But scoring wise, we had goals from a number of different players. Chippewa, number 34, Kyle Anderson. He got the first goal. Number 6, Mr. Fernandez. Right? And that's the one that I think that we got with Tanner. That's the highlight reel. A nice pass from the Thibodeau boy, Gavin. And so that was a beautiful goal. Number 15, Bradley, he had 2 goals in a row, so he had a hot hand. And number 14, Gavin Thibodeau, he scored the 5th goal. I think I have that one on a highlight reel. And number 92 finished it off. And 92 is Mr. Johns, Caleb Johns. Yeah. And scoring for Algonquin, we have number 11, Felix Laferriere, and number 17, Cohen Mercier. Both assisted by number 14, Jacob Jutra. He's an excellent little hockey player.
They've got a great squad. I mean, obviously not their night last night, but they'll be back.
No, he's a force at the front there. He's a little guy, skates well, tough, and has a nice stick. So watch for him in the playoffs. So there we go. I'm not sure about the schedule for the NDA. There's still a few games still left, and that one game on Saturday night, 8:30 against the Bears, and Algonquin's going to decide whether the Bears have the front row seat there, and it's going to be Chippewa and Algonquin fighting it out in the semis.
Well, yeah. Well, they're sitting back waiting to see who they get to play, and they beat each other up. So
yeah, it's great hockey. Right on. So when girls volleyball action, we actually have a couple late games Tuesday, the seniors from Schollard, they 3-0 over Ferris without much
resistance.
Wasn't close. And then also Algonquin 3-0 over Northern, both senior and junior, and that leads into the standings I have here. For the seniors, girls volleyball, the Bears are 12-0, now 13-0. So, it's going to be between them and the second place Chippewa, which was 10-2 at this point. In third place, we have Franco Cite, and Algonquin is in fourth, and they're neck and neck. With West Ferris way down, they have a losing season right now. I think they're 5-8. So yeah, it looks like it's going to come down to senior girls Bears and Chippewa, unless Franco and Algonquin can pull something off.
And then I know Chippewa is hosting OFSA volleyball. I guess will come down to who ends up going where based off of how playoffs and NASA and stuff would go. But
right. So this they're playing for more than pride.
More than pride. Yeah, exactly. So
right. Yeah, that's cool. It's kind of cool when the host team doesn't win and then another local team gets to play in there, especially if they're neck and neck like this. Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So we'll see how that goes. And again, that doesn't always, like, sometimes teams will lose at one and then move up to fill the OFSA slot for OFSA too. Right. So that gets kind of confusing. I should look into that. We have two strong
teams anyway, so that's cool, and a couple challengers. So that'll be good. In the junior girls volleyball, very similar. Bears undefeated, 12-0 from the last update here, followed by Algonquin. That's about 9-3, probably 10-3 now, and Chippewa 8-4. So it's close for second and third, but it looks like the Bears are running away with it. Franco Cite is batting about 500.
Okay.
And they're followed by West Ferris that's not batting by 500.
Rebuilding.
It's a rebuilding year. So I'm hoping I can get at the semifinals, because I want to get some video of the girls volleyball, because I've been pretty heavy on the hockey and the boys basketball. Spread that out a little bit, but looks like it's going to be an interesting week next week.
Very exciting around playoff time, or end of season playoff. All these games have big implications.
So I was talking about you the other day.
Okay.
Yeah, we was doing the banter in our live read that goes into the Echo Essentials podcast interview we did with Vic Fideli.
Okay. That
comes out next Thursday. So I was supposed to do the live read, so I started talking about Source for Sports, and I started making stuff up.
Yeah.
Right? I said, you're more than just a sports store. You have the business sports teams management thing going on. Mm-hmm. You have tentacles into the dome. You got people working all over the city in different at your place, but also running different organizations, and you're taking over and a big foundational part of our sports scene. Is any of that accurate?
That's what we're trying for. When you say it, it sounds very flattering, and it's something that I definitely don't do it alone. That would be the biggest, I think, from it, is having just some amazing staff and people that can make it run. Mm-hmm. I definitely have times where I'm still trying to find my place in it, and I try to stay out of the way of the ones that are doing such a great job. But yeah, I love having these ideas. I love trying to push sports forward. And really what we want to do is like the same way we sell multiple sports in one house, we'd like to help, teams and associations run their stuff and be more efficient and get the most bang for their buck. So,
there's a void for that. There's a void for that, and you're filling it.
I marvel, and every weekend something new surprises me when I'm away with my kids for sports, and I think there's a lot of time and resources being put into it. And I just want to make sure that they're used as efficiently as we can. And hopefully, if that can get a few more kids into sport because we've shaved a few dollars or helped out with some stuff or been more efficient, that's all I want, is to find a way to make that happen. And so I really love North Bay. I love, we feel so well supported, and just happy to keep bringing that to the city and giving them what they need.
And I appreciate you too, because I just had to buy another digital SD card for my videos for this stuff, and appreciate your support for this show, because it wouldn't happen without you.
It's been a blast. I'm really excited, and excited to see what we continue to bring and how this show evolves.
And just so you know, I'm going to continue to wear my swag until you give me.
We're going to work on some. I'm going to pass that job on to the people that make things, and then we're going to get some swag in here for sure.
I really appreciated having George Ringler in for our spotlight interview. It was great to talk to.
Yeah.
We touched upon a lot of different things. 5 generations of hockey people in the city. He was captain with the fire department, and he has got some neat stories.
Well, and for me, having now lived here for close to 20 years, there's still so many pieces of history that I'm excited to learn about. It helps to put connections of who is where, or maybe how and what they did in a previous part of their life. So that was really educational. I had a great chat, and I've seen him in the store so many times and at battalion games. So it was really nice to sit down and talk, without other people around to interrupt or whatever. We just got to have a conversation. And then obviously as we flowed into the conversation about Chat for Chad, I think that message just is such a strong one to, relay to everyone and what they're doing in the sports world to talk to the kids and let everybody know this is how important mental health is, and being able to talk about struggles that people have.
Well, especially with some of our athletic academic students having to deal with that when they lose a teammate in the city. And I know I had a lump in my throat when we even just brought it up with George, and he handled it like a champ. So that's cool.
Yeah, it was. It's an amazing organization. So it was great to hear him talk about that.
So this is just a clip of that interview. The full interview can be found at North Bay Echo's YouTube channel. So we passed 400 subscribers this week.
There we go. So it's more than just my family subscribing. Good.
Yeah. Actually, it's growing very well.
It's growing. That's fantastic.
And so check out really all that we have there. There's a number of different podcasts. We have the To North Bay with Love. We have Backroads with Bill. We have the Echo Essentials with Scott and I. And all the sports stuff's there too. So if you don't catch it on the website, catch it there.
Well, I guess the biggest hockey secret in our family was the connection that we had to Gordie Howe.
Oh, and do tell.
Well, my uncle from Detroit, he played in the minor baseball farm team of the Brooklyn Dodgers. So when he got out of baseball, he became a cop in Detroit. Well, they used to take boarders of the Red Wings, plus my cousin married a Detroit Red Wing.
Oh, okay.
So then my aunt, Dorothy Ringler, she's in Gordie's first book, she got to know Colleen really well, and they got really, really close. So Colleen looked after all Gordie's business stuff, but it was so bad she needed somebody, so she brought my aunt on board. So she worked for Gordie. So what would happen in the summer, they'd come up here in July and rent a cottage for a month. They'd take me back to Detroit like I was 16, 17. Yeah. And I'd spend the month of August there.
Oh.
So we used to go over to Howe's all the time and swim in his pool. And it was pretty neat. And Gordie was just, he's one of the greatest players to play, but he was also just a great man. Like, if you sat here and met him, you'd think you'd known the guy for 20 years.
Yeah.
He didn't talk much about hockey, but so one year, you guys probably wouldn't remember this, but North Bay had a pro team in the Eastern Professional League.
I wanted to ask you about that, so yes, I do. I'm very interested to know more about that and how long that lasted.
Now, the team only lasted 1 year.
Yeah.
So in I believe it was 62, the Detroit Red Wings came here and played an exhibition game. And they went out there and sort of floated around. They won 5-1. So that morning, there's a knock on our front door. Here's Gordie Howe, Norm Ullman, Alex Delvecchio. They get out of this taxi, and they were coming to see my mother, who they knew well, because she'd be in Detroit all the time. And she'd be at Howe's, eh?
Oh, okay.
Well, I couldn't even talk. I was about 11 years old, and they sat down and stayed an hour and had muffins or tea or that. Then they took a taxi back to the rink at noon hour because they played at 2 o'clock.
Well, that's cool.
And then he told me to meet him after the game, and I got a stick and a puck. And
You still have it? Still have it?
well, you know, it's a very sorry day because I'll tell you, I had that stick for a long time, and it was Northland Pro. It was signed by all the Red Wings. But I wasn't really big into the pictures and souvenirs and all that. Sat in my house for about 20 years, so there was a guy at work who was absolute Detroit Red Wing, Gordie Howe. So I thought, well, you know what? I don't really care about it. So we went in to work. We had to work Christmas Eve. So I took the stick and I gave it to this guy. Well, he actually thought like he'd won the lottery.
I bet. Oh, you did.
Because to him, that meant everything.
Yeah.
I wish I would have kept that stick because I could probably sell it for $25,000 right now.
Who was the guy you gave it to?
Fraser Monroe was his name.
Is
He was a firefighter on my shift.
Yeah? Is he still with us?
No, he passed away last year. But he was just Detroit crazy.
Well, I wonder if somebody in his family got that and maybe we can't find it.
Yeah, that'd be I don't know where that ever went.
That'd be a nice memorabilia to have now.
When I think back now, I thought I must be crazy. Like I should have kept that.
Oh, yeah.
But I got pictures of him and that at his house and stuff. I got that type of stuff because I would go back to school in September and the kids would say, well, what did you do? Well, I played ball and I was in Detroit for a month. And I was swimming one day with Mark and Marty, Gordie's sons. Oh, well, you can imagine what they said to me.
Yeah.
And I said, okay,
Here's the picture.
here's the picture. We're in the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That must have been amazing. Those were big, strong boys. The whole family, right?
Yeah, Gordie was big. Mark and Marty were both big. Mark was the one that ended up more successful at the professional level.
Yeah.
Where Marty, he played in the NHL, but he was just an average. But Mark, and the funny thing about it, a good friend of mine, Jimmy Sherritt, that went to Cape Cod, when he went to Houston, he ends up centering the two Howes.
That's crazy.
No, it's such a cool story to think about, like Gordie coming back so he could play with the boys and all that time after, like post then, like he's retired and then he comes back to do that. I always think too of the picture. There's a famous picture of Gordie Howe, like I don't know, deep sea fishing or whatever. He's got the shirt off and he's and just like a massive beast of a guy. And you think how hard everybody works out these days just to try to get anywhere close to something like that.
Well, the one picture I have from him, he came up from me from behind and he put his arm down and he put his hand here.
Yeah.
Well, my whole chest was just hand. He had big hands, big arms. He weighed about 225, but he was all muscle.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. Him. The other one I always think of too, there's a Tim Horton. I don't know if he's baling hay or something.
Yeah, I seen that picture.
Yeah. And these guys, you think of that, the off-season regimen of needing to work because it wasn't enough just to get by on your salary. That's right. And then, what you would have had to do to maintain training camp was so that you could get back in shape. But a lot of these guys were still in some shape. But it's just unbelievable what hockey's become, or sports in general, for the year-round specialization and everything that you have to do to. Well,
my aunt told me that the best year Gordie ever had financially, he made $20,000 a year, and he was the highest paid guy in the NHL.
Wow.
$20,000. If he was alive today and playing, he'd be making $15 million.
North Bay Echo is proud to partner with Twigs Coffee Roasters, a part of the community since 1995. Twigs offers a wide selection of quality beans, fresh roasted in-house every day. Find your favorite specialty drinks at our espresso bar. Rejuvenate with freshly squeezed juice or treat yourself to mouth-watering selections from our gourmet deli. And don't forget our irresistible fresh baked goods, including uncompromising gluten-free options. Twigs has 5 locations to serve you, from North Bay to Sturgeon Falls to Sudbury. Order online for pickup at twigs.ca. And coming soon, you'll be able to order fresh roasted coffee beans direct to your doorstep from our distribution center in North Bay.
I was at the first Lakers men's game, the first period of the Lakers men's game on Saturday against Waterloo. It was looking like it was going to be a good game. It was 2-2.
Yep.
But I had a date, so I left.
Date didn't want to go to the game? No.
But they
can't be in all places and all times.
Yeah,
it's okay.
I was it was looking like it was going to be a good game. I was going to stick around, but priorities. I was glad to hear that they ended up winning in overtime, which was great. 4-3, broke a 5-game losing skid, which is really tough to do when you know you're way out of the playoffs, and you're just battling for pride right now, right?
Yeah, building, looking for who's going to step up and play a bigger role next year. Getting through injuries and everything. So it's good to see that. Back on the winning side.
Well, Zach Roy, a goalie from North Bay, he got the win, and he made 35 saves for it. So it's like he was under pressure. He was doing well, moving well. And again, right from the start, like even their loss on Friday night, 2-1, these are close games for the most part.
Yep.
It must be hard to take, but great hockey to see. And tonight's game with the Military Appreciation Night against Windsor should be cool. I know they'll be trying hard.
Yeah, it's always a great event that they put on, the custom jerseys that they do every year, and then they auction them off. So there's a great chance to get a really cool jersey from your favorite player and support the team. It supports the military housing resource, I believe it's when new military families come to town. This is the type of thing that helps connect them with different services that they might need, whether it's for themselves or for their children, help to accommodate. And it's also great to recognize and celebrate the contribution that the military has in North Bay, because our kids play hockey with people who are whose parents are in the military. We've got lots of people that come in and out of town because of being transferred. It's a great part of the city, and it's really nice to see what Nipissing does. And long supporter of it.
Well, I forgot to mention, in the overtime win, local boy Peyton Vescio made the pass to Charlie Johnson to seal the deal and come away with the win. So shout out to Peyton. I know it's been a tough season, but way to go. And if you can't see the Lakers tonight, they play again on Saturday at 4 o'clock. Same team, same bat channel.
And then in terms of for other teams with Nipissing, I know that the women's team is in Waterloo on Friday night to place the Warriors again. And then they stay in Waterloo to play Wilfrid Laurier on Saturday. So ladies looking to pick up some points in their final 4 games of the regular season.
Well, we got to mention at least the scores of their losses on the road, because that gives people an idea what's going on. So Friday night, University of Toronto, they lost 6-2. I'm not sure what happened there. I didn't see it. I know you can watch them on the
OUA TV has anyone can sign up, and there's no cost, and you can watch all of the schools and all the games and across all the sports.
And if you signed up and watched them on February 1st, the Saturday, for the afternoon game, the Toronto Metropolitan University spanked them 4-1.
Yeah, and those are the first road losses for the team, too, this year. They've been undefeated on the road. So, again, 4 games left to kind of get everything all ship-shape before they head into the playoffs.
Their next home game is Valentine's Affair with the University of Guelph on February 14th at 6 p.m., and then the next day they play Brock University February 15th. So you'll see them at home, and those are the final 2 games of the regular schedule.
Perks was in the store today actually getting some sticks and sorting out some warranties for sticks that broke, and they, I know, are getting all ready for the weekend. So, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it'll be good. They're, I think it's just about peaking at the right time. So,
well, a loss is as good as an education.
Yes, exactly.
So our heritage moment is actually about Nipissing Warriors hockey team from Nipissing First Nation, and I've written several features about it, and I know a lot of the guys, and actually they were well supported by a whole community sort of thing. The women had a club that made sure they didn't have to pay for anything, and they all bussed to the games and the wild matchups in Sturgeon because they played in the Industrial League there, and they won the All-Ontario tournament in big fashion. And I think it was in 70, 72 or something like that. Then they won it a couple other times. It really meant a lot for the community because it brought them together for something that they were always battling these other things that, oppression and treaty grievances that they were fighting in court. And it brought them together, and that made Nipissing First Nation, and it's become one of the most progressive and successful in treaty research and winning treaty claims and stuff like that. But it was grounded in their hockey. So Nipissing Warriors was part and parcel to the community being able to come together and then rise back up. So it's very important for them. And generations of players, the grandpas, sons, grandkids, and they hold it in very high account. And now with the Nipissing Warriors, rather than having a men's team to rally around, for 40, 50 years now, they've been doing little NHLs, right? So the Nipissing Warriors get to go to the big tournaments where there's thousands of First Nation Indigenous players, a lot of relatives, and there's these rivalries between Wikwemikong and Nipissing, and then you got teams from Moosonee, and then way up north they get involved, and then they're playing some of the Mohawk teams. It's really cool.
Well, I know, again, as someone who grew up in Southern Ontario, it was a lot to, learn and understand some of the history and exactly what you're talking about. And I just think, with my love of sports, like sports has been an amazing education to help follow that and learn the history of it. And you're right, like that rallying cry and that importance of the sport in a time that was, we're always fighting to become more understanding of each other and to be more, just progressive in the way we think and understand. And sport sometimes leads the charge in that a lot of times. And it's nice because it helps to recognize how many similarities we have despite thinking we might have differences. So, the children's tournament, the little NHL, is just phenomenal. It's so great to see in my entire time of having the store and being up here. Steady flow of kids on their way because, like you said, they come from all over. And good luck finding ice that week in Toronto. Like, it is like every arena seems like it.
Mississauga's just flooded. Right?
Yeah. So, and I think that Markham is kind of the base this year, if I'm not mistaken. But again, like it'll expand and they'll be using rinks in Scarborough and North Toronto and Vaughan and everything. And just amazing families that come down and get to spend time, especially it's a big deal to go to the city too if you're living in quite a remote community. So it's exciting for everybody.
I know it was a spring tradition for my boy as well because he ended up getting picked up. He played on Nipissing Warriors. They won the Pee Wee Championship.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one it was, but he also got picked up. He got the chance to play for Sagamuk, and he got to play with Wiki. Right? Okay. And they went to 3-on-3s because of his meeting players down there, and it was an important part of his Indigenous sort of foundations.
Yeah, connections for life, right? So that's, and hopefully that, transitions when it's time to find a job or go to school, and you've got someone that you can reach out to that might, be from that area or have greater ideas. And it's just, love sports for that.
I was on Facebook, and they have a Nipissing Warriors page, and I'm a member of it. And I got to see this really neat thing because it mentioned John Sawyer, who played for the North Bay Trappers in the early 70s, but he was definitely a Nipissing Warrior for sure, one of the best. And another player, a younger guy, wrote about getting to play with them. So I'm going to read out a little bit what Tom Lambert said on Facebook for him. And the title of it was The Original Warrior, John Sawyer, and the Next Generation Warrior, Tom Lambert Meet Up. He goes, when I first started playing hockey in the Warriors, the nation had many players, enough to possibly make 2 to 3 teams to play in the tournaments. Sudbury hosted 3 native men's hockey tournaments, and they were the Early Bird, the Challenge Cup, and the Late Bird. The Nipissing Warriors always had a team in tournaments and had many players, not all of them could play. So Dennis Commanda used to get a team together with all the other team Nipissing guys that couldn't make that one and go to these other tournaments. These tournaments were cash money. And I've been to some of them.
Yes.
A native, at this time, a men's tournament was blood and guts, and they're fighting for pride and money.
Yeah.
And I went to the one in the Sioux, and brought my cousin there, and he was like wide-eyed at the physical contests that were going on there. It was good, clean, hard hockey.
Yeah.
Right? And I think it was the last of the good, clean, hard hockey that I ever saw. So not only did he get to play with some of the original Warriors, I also played against some of the other Warriors. I got to play with the originals. One Late Bird tournament, we happened to meet up against Dennis Commanda's team, who had some originals on it. As mentioned before, these tournaments were played under NHL rules. If you have played in these tournaments, the name of the game is to keep your head up. If not, you were bound to get hit. As any player would do if he got hit, immediately he would look up at the player's number to return the favor. I'll never forget this moment when playing against Dennis's team. As I was defending the front of my net, protecting our goalie, out of nowhere, I would get this hard, clean shoulder check, dead center of my chest, and it put me on my butt. What did I do? I immediately looked up to see who ran me over, and who happens to be looking down at me with a big smile on his face is the original Warrior, John Sawyer. All I could do while on my ass looking up was smile back. And the original Warrior taught the next generation Warrior how to give a clean hit and to keep your head up. This is all about respect for one another. And no matter what happens on the ice, it stays on the ice. And yes, I did buy and have a drink with John afterwards, and I still have a big smile on, and so did John. To my very good friend, John Sawyer, Nipissing Warrior, I'll never forget what you taught me. Now, John, you can find him at almost every Lakers game. He sits up there pretty well by himself, unless he's joined by Kendall Keese and a couple other guys. But he's there. He's sitting watching. He's following. And he loves to be there. He loves to see it. So if you see a big Indigenous guy there sitting there quietly with his hat on, it's in the blue section near, it's on the Lakers side, over in the Blues. He sits there in the same spot every time. He's watching. Yeah. Say hi, and he's a friendly guy, nice guy.
Awesome.
He's a good friend of mine, and it's great to read Tom's thing for him and to give a little shout out to Nipissing Warriors. Way to go.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, that was a great show.
Right on. So that's it. That's our Echo Sportscast 21.
All right. Well, I'm Paul McLean.
And I'm Dave Dale. Thanks for joining. Please like, share, and all that kind of stuff. And send us something. If we missed your sport, we'll do it. Just got to send me something. NorthBayEcho.ca, the editor at NorthBayEcho.ca.